heard a red-tailed hawk, I guarantee it. So if you're watching TV and you see a bird fly across the screen, I don't care if it's a robin or if it's a bald eagle, you're going to hear a red-tailed hawk. Here's what red-tailed hawk sounds like. We were driving up here yesterday and we were listening to a radio station 100.5, and their little commercial thing said, yes, you're listening to 100.5, the Eagle. Then they played. Like I said, Hollywood uses the red-tailed hawk over any other bird call, even for a bald eagle. And this is really, really low volume, but this is what a bald eagle sounds like. Kind of wimpy, isn't it? Okay, any other questions before I put her up and get the last one out?
Rodney, is that the biggest hawk in this area? Red-tailed is the biggest hawk in this area?
Probably is. And besides being the biggest one, the red-tailed hawk is the most common hawk in North America. There's actually 16 subspecies to the red-tailed hawk. This is the classic red-tailed hawk as far as the coloration goes. Like I said, there are 16 types of red-tailed hawks, and so they come in many different colors. When you're driving down the road, you look on the telephone poles on the interstate, you see a big bird sitting on a telephone pole with this poke. This is probably what you're looking at. It's actually a lazy bird. What they're doing is sitting up there waiting for supper to come to them. They actually have gotten used to the highway department bush hogging meetings and such, and they know they're going to pick up some rodents. So they're waiting.
What's the biggest prey?
As a rule of thumb, any bird of prey will take a third of its own body weight. She weighs around 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds, so something like 8 ounces or so. Was there a question over here? You have a question? What's your question?
I thought it was and I spotted it. And I was eating pictures last night, and here comes one flying in my house.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm going to get the eagle out. After I get done talking about the eagle, you're more than welcome to come up and get a picture taken with it. By the way, if you want to take pictures, I've seen some cameras. Picture of the birds for free. If I'm in it, it's $10. Like I said, you're more than welcome to come up and get your picture taken with the eagle. When you do come up, stop and I'll approach you with the bird. Don't approach me, don't get too close. This eagle has sent me to the doctor twice. With a back injury, so both times. Like I said, her name's Lynn. She belongs to, I'll tell you a little bit before I get her out. She belongs to the Little Rock Zoo. Lynn was born in 1992. We know her exact age. The reason we know her exact age is because back in the big eagle awareness conservation movement, she was one of 2 eggs that was laid. She was taken out of the nest and incubated and released in the wild. And when she was 2 years old, she was caught in a storm and blown into something, we don't know what, a tree, a barn, and broke both her wings. Okay, her wings didn't heal back correctly. Even though looking at her by herself, she looks perfect, but she cannot fly for very long distance at all. Yes, I got big ones. Who wants to hear my eagle story? I know my family's heard. Okay, the very first eagle we had to give it a shot twice a day for a week. So it had been, matter of fact, I recovered it in southwest Little Rock. It had been shot in the left wing. And so we had to give it ambox twice a day. So come time to take the last shot, I told my wife to get the camera and let's take some pictures. So I've got the eagle out like this. My wife, she's off to my right. She takes a picture. She says something. And I done like that and looked at her without thinking. As soon as I looked back, snipped. Took part out of my top lip. So I'm bleeding like a stuck hog. Tell her to quit taking pictures. Give the bird a shot, and I'm in the emergency room. I ended up with 3 stitches that time. And the funny part of it is, everybody in the emergency room in Jacksonville, Arkansas, everybody who worked in the emergency room had to come by and see that guy got bit by a bald eagle. When the doctor finished sewing me up, he told me, he says, I've treated everybody for anything and everything in here. You're the first one I've ever sewed up with one getting bit by a bald So after that, my parents had enough thought to send me a face shield. Well, back in December, this is a first to my mother. My mother doesn't do this. Back in December, we had another bald eagle. I don't remember what was wrong with it. Same scenario. We had to give it a shot. Went out there to give the very first shot. Reached up underneath my face mask, grabbed my bottom lip. 7 stitches that night. And she didn't even notice the scar.
His mom didn't even notice the scar.
I don't want to see the ball.
That's pretty bad. The eagles on the toe.
I think that's going to support the weight.
She always wins me when she first gets out. I don't blame her. I wouldn't want to be perfect. Anyway, Lynn, like I said, she was born back in '92. You already touched that. I've been working with Lynn for about 8 years now. When you go to work with a bird, you can't just walk up to a bird and pick it up. You actually have to form a bond or trust with that bird. I trust Lynn very little. Lynn has actually bitten me a few times and drawn blood on my hand, but that's normal behavior for her. Now, she is a mature bald eagle. She's 18 years old now. In captivity, she'll probably live to be around 50 years old. In the wild, remember I said, only 25% live past their second birthday. This past spring, we had another baby bald eagle had fallen out of the nest, or actually we think was pushed out of the nest, and had broken wing, was not going to be released. The zoo was actually letting us keep the bird for a couple of months to get it imprinted, and we were going to use it in our education department. I took the bird back to the veterinarian. This bird sat on the floor with me, would lay its head down on my lap, go to sleep. That's how, I hate to say tame, but calm this bird got. Took it back to the veterinarian for a checkup. Took a deep breath and died. I didn't like it. Birds of prey, if the mother suspects a defect in their young or offspring, they will intentionally kick it out of the nest. They're not going to waste their time feeding something, raising something that's not going to grow up and go away anymore. Also, birds of prey tend to mate for life. However, if the mate dies, they will remate. With the bald eagle, if she finds out the male is sterile, she's out of there. She's not somebody that will make babies. When you think about it, when it comes down to it, birds of prey, that's what they do. They reproduce and they eat. Another thing, the birds of prey, when they're out flying around, they're not just out flying around enjoying the day. That's work for them. Imagine the pressure it would take for this bird to lift this body. So when they're out flying around, they're actively doing something, looking for food or they're looking for a mate. Now, Lynn's wingspan is about 6 feet. Lynn has been to several functions. Breeze feels good right now. She's been to tons and tons and tons of functions, both in Arkansas and around the surrounding states. A bald eagle has anywhere from 4,000 to 7,000 feathers on its body, and they can control each one independently. That's how specialized this bird is. Now, what do bald eagles eat? Meat, that's right. What kind of meat? Okay, typically we think of bald eagles as being fish eaters, but they're a lot like a vulture. They'll scavenge anything. Everybody knows, or at least the adults know, Ben Franklin actually wanted the turkey to be our national symbol. The reason he didn't want the bald eagle is because the bald eagle was a low moral character because they are thieves, because they will steal from other birds. That way they don't have to work for food. However, in 1792, Congress had enough sense to adopt the bald eagle as our national symbol. Probably what was the swing vote for that is bald eagles are found only in North America. Now typically they're fish eaters, like I said, but they will scavenge. The bottom of their feet has the consistency of Velcro. Okay, they have enough strength in their feet. Each foot is capable of exerting up to 1,000 pounds per square inch worth of pressure. I didn't do it today, but normally when I work with them, I take my watch off. Several years ago, we were doing a program. A kid came up behind us, I didn't see him, and touched her on the tail and scared her so bad she squeezed my wrist and left an impression of my watch on her wrist. So they're extremely, extremely powerful birds. Any questions about bald eagle?
How much does it weigh?
She weighs right around 12, 13 pounds. Here in our part of the country, Arkansas and Missouri, bald eagles are smaller than the bald eagles up north, Minnesota, Canada, and Alaska. The farther north you go, the colder it is, the larger the bird, because they have to have more fat stores. Any other questions? Good question. Right now in central Arkansas, we have the largest flight facility available. Right now, I hope the construction.
Could you repeat the question, please?
He's having a flight pen built for his eagles, and I wondered where we were in the construction.
We're almost done, but we've been almost done for 3 weeks. This is the first time I've dealt with a contractor. I hope it lasts. Entergy is our electric provider in Arkansas, and Entergy has felt the responsibility for some of the eagle deaths that we've suffered in Arkansas. So they have agreed to fund an eagle flight pen for us. After this flight pen is done, Entergy will have invested between $20,000 and $25,000 in this facility. Right now, we have the largest facility in central Arkansas, and after our eagle flight pen is done, hopefully the contractor is there this morning. After our eagle flight pen is done, we'll have the largest flight facility in the state of Arkansas, square footage-wise.
So that they free fly?
Yes, ma'am. Right now, our largest structure is 51 foot long, 13 foot tall, and 10 foot wide. The one we're having built for her is 100 foot long, 20 foot wide, 21 foot tall on one end, and 18 foot on the other. It doesn't sound really big when you're standing there. It's huge. Anyway, Cindy, the only thing left is putting them in. Why does it have hair on its beak? It's a little piece of downy feather stuck in his nostril. He can't get out, and I'm not going to get it out. It's been in there yesterday. It doesn't bother me at all. Well, thanks a lot for coming out. Do you have a question over here?
What's its name?
Lynn, this is Lynn. By the way, like I said, working with Little Rock Zoo and being a docent or a volunteer with the Education Department, it's a lot of fun. We go all over the state with our birds of prey at the zoo and do programs. When we do go out with our birds of prey, they normally live in the room with us. And what we do is we spread visqueen out on the floor and we put their perches out on the floor so they're out in the room with us. And if we do 3 or 4 day programs at one place, you can't really clean up everything. It does make it a little uncomfortable living conditions. Now I need that feather back. Thanks a lot for coming out. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, if you want your picture taken with the eagle, yes. I'm glad she pointed that out. It is panting. She is hot. Okay, birds don't perspire or sweat like we do. When they get hot, they will pant. Like I said, thanks a lot for coming out. And if you want your picture taken with Lynn, come on up. Like I said, very pleased to bring her out.
Rodney and Rapper and anyone that would like to contribute, there's a box right back here in the back. I'm sure that they would greatly appreciate the donation.